ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on this week's episode, we'll be talking about the movie Gone Girl. But of course, before we get to any of that, I'm joined today by nice guy Nathaniel Gingrich.
Hey, I'm a nice guy. I'm talking about Gone Girl. I don't know. It felt a little Boston to me when you said it there. Maybe
I was like, "Where?"
Maybe it was the Ben Affleck of it all. It was just influencing me. That's me. Nice guy, Nathaniel. So nice.
Are you really a nice guy though, or is it
I'm such a nice guy. Just if anyone would, give me a chance, they'd realize how nice I am. No? Okay.
I've told you this before, Nathaniel, but I thought you were like such a grudge when I first met you.
Really? Like a Grinch, or like when I was
not like a Grinch. You just didn't engage. I didn't ever see you engage or like smile at anyone for a long time.
Really?
And you worked at AP, and you just sit up there and you'd kind of just be doing whatever, and you just be like looking at the monitors and just got a straight face on, and then I'd just be like, and then I don't know, a few times that I tried to talk to you, kind of like you didn't ignore me, but you kind of just brushed me off a little bit.
Just being polite.
And then finally, I remember the first time that I was like, "Oh, this guy's all right." Is I walked up to you when we were closing, and you were like, "Hey, do you want to see my Geek Squad logo that I drew on a sticky note?" And I was like, "Sure." And I was all right, this guy's all right.
Yeah, I'd redesigned the Geek Squad logo with like threes instead of the E's.
Yeah.
And it was Squad, SKWA.
Yeah. It was pretty good, if I remember.
That was all my graphic design skills coming out right there.
Yes, it was. Also joining us today is On the Run Tyler Verdalis.
What's up? I'm running.
He's on the lam.
I'm always running.
Who are you running from?
Not a thing. Or a person.
Just running to something.
Maybe.
You guys ever played
to find out?
You guys ever played Mirror's Edge?
Yeah,
for sure.
No. I know what it is though, but that was definitely one of the times. That was definitely one of the ones that came out, and I was like, and I'm done with video games. Like it's too good. That is beyond my skill level, and see ya.
Yeah, that game's fun.
Oh, for sure, man.
Never played the second one.
Wasn't it all parkour? Wasn't that the kind of the thing of it?
Yeah, it's a parkour game
for sure.
Just really slick movement.
So
parkour.
Like nowadays, you like having played Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, like it probably wouldn't even be fun anymore, right? Like,
yeah, to your point, absolutely.
Probably not.
It was a product of its time in 2007.
Very innovative in terms of movement. Definitely. I mean,
that's gotta feel.
Call of Duty Black Ops has like omni movement. You could jump off shit. I don't know. Who knows? But
that's gotta be weird from the video game side of things, because like even more though in film, like because you know how oftentimes we'll like watch a movie and we're kind of like, yeah, I get it. Like this was iconic when it came out, but it's been done better so many times since then that like it doesn't quite hit the same. But like I feel like with video games, that's even more so, because not only are you like looking at an older product, but like you're experiencing that older clunkiness as well too.
Right. The mechanics of the game.
Yeah. Like movies, you can
robust.
you can almost like go back and be like, okay, well, I understand how this felt at the time, but with like video games, you're like, how the hell did I even survive with this?
It's easier
kind
to
of
put
thing?
it in. It's easier to put it in context, but like once you've spent enough time on like modern video games, it's so much harder to go back. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Interesting point. And rounding out the squadron today, of course, is Big Psycho BlakeHolder. Oh, you know what?
Fellas.
I should change it. Big Batshit BlakeHolder.
Batshit.
Because he's batshit crazy.
I don't think we've used that one before.
Nope, that's the first one. That's why I'm changing it. Keeping it with the B.
We'll take it.
Yeah,
we'll take it. No Ben Affleck. Big Ben Affleck.
Big Ben Blake.
Big Ben Blake. I mean,
hey. Strange guy though. Big Ben, the quarterback, allegedly.
Big Ben.
Oh, that
Allegedly.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
That Ben?
allegedly.
That gentleman. I
confirm.
don't know if there's anything alleged about that. Like, isn't that a matter of public record?
No alleged, just straight facts.
Yeah.
Blake back on the laptop mic this week. We'll get it sorted out, listeners, but give us some patience here as we work through more technical difficulties. But we're how we doing over there, Blake, besides your Elgato not being very friendly?
Yeah, man. I think I need a Elgato sponsorship or something at this point. This is either I'm just getting the bad batch of mics like 2 consecutive times in a row, or it's ultimately I've fried my laptop. Multiple laptops.
Well,
so
I was gonna say it's the work laptop.
Yeah.
So they've got to replace it now.
Yeah, they should.
So maybe I fried the personal, then I fried the work one. I don't know what's going on here.
Get some sort of see if like Rode is creating a laptop / audio mixer all in one, and just go from there.
It can
for the
just
next
launch
one.
Discord. That's it.
Yeah. It's just got 5 mic inputs.
It's got one function, and it probably still won't even work. It's like all you need to do is connect to Discord and plug in a mic, and it still probably won't be able to do that.
So I'll find something out, man. But
yeah, we'll figure it out.
All good.
Yeah, man. Worse things in the world than technical
Could
issues.
just be
but,
leading back to a back row in person. And we know it works then.
That's true.
Very true.
That's very true.
Anywho's,
we're not here to talk about broken mics. We're here to talk about broken hearts. Who's broken? No, I'm just kidding.
got a little less than a month out for Valentine's Day, so
find your lovers now.
Find your lovers now. You heard it here first, folks.
get out there on the streets.
Stop what you're doing.
Someone.
Show them this episode.
Everyone, get outside right now. Go find your lover.
Find your lover. Ask him that. Are you my lover?
Don't let go, no matter what they say or who tries to get in your way. Wow, that was an odd ad for Valentine's Day. Anyway, welcome to the main review segment. We'll just go there. We're talking about Gone Girl, continuing our David Fincher binge / review. Fincher and review. I don't know. But Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how our review segment works?
What up, folks? If you're new, or perhaps you've forgotten, the way the review segment works here on Back Row Banter is we split into 2 sections. It's pretty self-explanatory because there's a non-spoiler section and then there's a spoiler section. If you want to have nothing spoiled for you, go ahead and check the show notes, and it'll tell you when we are talking spoilers and when we're not. But come back and check when we've watched, where we rank it up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast ranked. With that being said, in the non-spoiler section, we'll go over the movie's IMDb page, who wrote it, who directed it, who's in it, all that good stuff. And in the spoiler section, we'll go into big spoilers. And there's going to be some on this movie, so it's 10 years old, but if you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, again, check those show notes. With that being said, Adam, tell me about Gone Girl.
Would love to. This is not a new movie. This is actually over a decade old at this point, which is scary because I remember when this movie came out and it was a big deal. And now I'm old. Released in 2014, rated R with a runtime of 2 hours and 29 minutes and an IMDb rating of 8.1 out of 10. Pretty high for IMDb standards, relatively speaking. It is directed, of course, by Mr. David Fincher, and the writing credits go to Gillian Flynn, who wrote both the novel and the screenplay. How impressive!
How impressive!
Love when a writer can do both of those. Because and I, if I ever write a novel and then it gets adapted, I'm probably writing that screenplay. I think too much can get lost in translation.
You're holding that one onto your contract.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, write it in. All right, I'll sell you the rights, but I am writing that screenplay. No one else can stand in my way. But anyway,
okay.
The cast includes Ben Affleck, Rosamund Pike, Rosamund.
I don't know.
Rosamund Pike, Neil Patrick Harris, Tyler Perry, Carrie Coon, and Kim Dickens, Patrick Fugit. Future. Ah, dude.
It's fuck it.
Should've known that
Fuck it, dude.
Imagine.
That's definitely like, yeah, your family's like said it's Fugit like a million times, but it's fuck it.
I love that.
Well,
Fuck
it's
it.
fuck it here. And I think I'll probably leave it there. I think
that's
most of
the main cast
that we need. The IMDb summary reads as follows: the husband of a missing woman becomes the chief suspect in her disappearance. Boom. That might be one of my favorite IMDb summaries because that's all you need to know. And it gets you, it tells you what you need to know, gets you a little intrigued, gets you on board, gets you ready to go. Doesn't waste any time. It's just like this movie. It's the less you know, the better. Going in this movie, you don't need to know too much.
Tame Impala style.
Correct. Tame Impala style. The less you know, the better. Name another song by Tame Impala, Nathaniel. Do it.
French fries. Oh, sorry.
Nope.
I'm not naming a song for Tame Impala. I'm naming a Tame Impala song. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I thought you were just asking me to come up with a title for him. I just wanted his next track to be called French Fries.
Okay. I'll reach out.
I don't know if I know another one besides. Less I know, the better.
No, it's all good. I'm
I
just kidding.
think
It's kind of like a
Tame was a
meme.
little bit past my time, if I'm going to be honest.
Really?
Maybe not.
You would enjoy him if you haven't listened to his full discography. You would definitely enjoy him.
Less I Know ended up being a TikTok thing, right? Like that, really picked up on there.
Maybe I can't remember.
Or
exactly
it's
if there was a
because
trend around that.
it gets mixed in with a lot of songs.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
It definitely does. And the meme
It's
is
that
kind of like
do that kind of big bass line goes with a lot
Right.
of different stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Tame Impala is kind of like a meme at this point where it's like I listen to underground music. Tame Impala,
Got
you
it.
probably haven't heard of him.
Got
and
it.
then,
Okay.
and then the second joke is name a second song, and everyone only knows the less I know the better because
Sure.
that's just his most popular.
His most popular song. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's just the.
It is just
But
one
anyway.
guy, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And very gifted. Works. I don't know last time he released his own project, but he's been working
'Cause
with other people.
I get Tame Impala and Vampire Weekend confused, as odd as maybe that is.
I was gonna say that's pretty odd, but more power to you.
Do what I can.
Yeah. Anyway, this is Gone Girl. No one's first watch, right? We've all seen this.
I have seen it, yeah.
Yes.
Blake, are you good
Yeah,
over
we've
there?
seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're doing some hand signals, and I was like, I don't like
I'm
that.
digging. I may have found a solution here, fellas.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Did you buy a new computer?
Is it Tame Impala?
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah, is it Tame
Bezos.
Impala?
I actually just ordered it, and they're gonna
Oh, dude, that's so sick.
drop it off via drone.
That's awesome. I bet the guy's getting or the drone's not getting paid enough, but
The drone's not getting paid
Do you
enough.
want the drone to get paid?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, at some point we got to start giving them rights. We can't just have them flying. all over
Are
the
your
place.
bits?
Oh yeah, pay 'em in Amazon bits.
Want
Would
some
you
more?
like some more?
Yeah, would you like some more?
Anyway, no one's first watch. Yeah, did we confirm that?
No, yeah, not mine.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be.
Saw this
I will
one
say
in
this
theaters.
is only. You saw this one in theaters.
Yeah.
You're old.
I am.
I was too young. I was too young to watch this in theaters.
You weren't allowed to see R-rated movies.
No. Papa Schwartz kind of blocked me on that one. But yeah, I would have been 14 when this came out. Like I said, I remember it being
Which
a
is
big deal.
weird
Remember-
because I feel like a 14-year-old could handle this.
Oh, I absolutely could have. Looking back,
Now, Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, I might not show a 14-year-old that one.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not. But Papa Schwartz, better safe than sorry was his mantra. Oh my God, yo,
Fist pumps.
You're-
Fist pumps for Blake.
Let's get it.
your gain's a little high. If you want to just
Okay.
just notch that down a little bit, but I am just as excited as you are. I'm gonna have to.
That was
hear
tech
what you
advice on the
changed.
fly.
I know. I'm impressed. All right.
There's a will, there's a way, fellas.
There's
Absolutely.
a Reddit, there's a
absolutely
way.
yeah, that's actually what it is for sure. Shout out Shout out Kinge on Reddit. It's a forum
My
from
guy.
3 years ago.
Let's go, dude. I love. This is another. We'll get back to the review. I promise. When you like search in a very niche question of a technical
It's
issue you're having,
always
and there's like
Reddit.
that. There's that. Well, there's Reddit, and then there's like Quora that's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That is just like the most random FAQ questions. And it's just like so niche.
Yeah,
that
but
it's
that was
got my answer.
That was back when the internet worked. Doesn't do that anymore.
doesn't do that anymore. Now, if you don't find your answer immediately, it's
You have to type it
you're screwed.
minus AI.
Yeah. Anyway, Gone Girl. Remember this coming out? Remember this got a decent amount of Oscar buzz too, right?
This was one of the first ones I saw in England. This was like
Oh, that's right.
I had just like it was fall 2014, I think it was when it came out. So that was my when I studied abroad there the first time.
Yeah. October 3rd, 2014.
Yeah, this was one of the first ones I saw over there in an English cinema.
Was it in a different language or?
Yeah, English.
Yeah. Yeah. Did
It
they
just
have
was
subtitles for
subtitles.
the words
Yeah.
that were spelled different?
Yeah,
it's
gray
just
was
like-
GRAY.
Right. Right,
Color,
right.
they put the O and the U in
the
their
U,
favor.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Great.
New York Mets
is my-
had to be brought up underneath.
This is my second viewing.
So probably what, 10
Did not see this.
or like 5 years between viewings since you couldn't see it at the time.
Yeah, I first saw this at some point in college. I'm trying to think of when I would have watched this for the first time. Maybe I watched it for a film class. I feel like I did. It was like assigned to me. Because we were learning about like Fincher's kind of style, and there was something along that he was doing in this movie. I can't remember exactly what it was that was kind of the highlight of the movie, but I think that was the first time I saw it. So yeah, it's been a couple years. Definitely not long enough where it's like I completely forgot what happened. This is a movie, but once you've seen it once, it's kind of hard to forget. Obviously,
Sure.
if you know, you know.
And if
So
you
yeah,
don't
it's
know,
if you don't know, then cover
You'll
your
soon
ears.
know.
Yeah, yeah. You don't know, be careful. Yeah, I enjoyed it on the second time around quite a bit. It's not, the first time viewing, I think it's definitely one of those movies where you never get that back. Kind of your first time getting exposed to the story. It's definitely one that isn't going to be near the same value on a second watch. But that being said, like I still really had a good time and still found it very engaging. Even though I know kind of the big twists and turns that the story takes, I still really, really liked it this time around. I think this movie is really good. I've really, since it ended, have been grappling with like, is this my favorite Fincher? Like, do I really like this potentially better than any of the other ones that we've watched on the pod here? And like, I don't know. I'm like, it feels wrong to say that, but I'm like, this is, in terms of all the watches of these Fincher films, like this is the one that I'm just like the most glued to the screen for. And I think, I don't know, I don't know what it is. Maybe, I think part of it could be just, this is a much more grounded story than especially the other Fincher films we've watched. Because I mean, obviously 7 doesn't even necessarily take place in the real world. We don't know. It's kind of purgatory. Girl with the dragon tattoos, a little out there, and it's in Europe, and that's an imaginary place too. And what else did we watch? I'm blanking on the other one. 7, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. What else? What other Fincher one? We watched the third one, didn't we?
Zodiac,
that's right. Which I guess that one's also pretty based in reality. But regardless, like I feel like this is the one that you can kind of almost relate to and see happening the most in terms of like, you just the way it's filmed. It's not quite as dark or gritty as the other ones. It's definitely, and I feel like that's definitely done intentionally, where you want to be able to connect to this story. And if you grew up in the suburbs, and this is even even closer to me personally because it takes place in Missouri. So definitely some familiar kind of sites and references there. But yeah, if you kind of, I feel like more people are going to be able to just connect to the story just a little bit more. So, and I don't know if that's kind of what's influencing me and how much I like it, but man, this movie is really, really good. And it holds up really well. wish there was more rewatch value. This definitely doesn't compare to like Seven, where like as we were watching that one, it was like, oh man, like all these references that you kind of like don't realize are happening in the moment, and on another watch you kind of pick up more. And that's definitely a movie where like you'll pick up something new on every watch. I don't know if you'll ever really get that with this movie. I'm sure there are a few things here and there, but to me on the second watch it wasn't like, and obviously knowing having seen the movie and knowing what happens, there wasn't things where I was like, oh, like I can't believe I didn't notice this on the first time, like that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This is just at the end of the day, it's just incredibly well made. It grips you and keeps you engaged from opening to close. Like I in terms of like momentum, and we've talked about Fincher's editing. Like, dude, this thing just like it's 2.5 hours and it flies. Like it just flies. Like I'm holding on to every line, every scene to scene. I am just like super engaged, just locked in like the whole time. It is just a incredibly quick 2.5 hours. Yeah, I do really, really, really like this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of contemplating that myself in terms of watching this, and I was like, okay, is this my favorite Fincher film? But then I was like, that's kind of difficult to say, right?
It's
He's
so
got
hard.
some classics, but I think when I was kind of thinking aloud, I was like, okay, I came to terms with it. I believe Gone Girl is to Fincher what Prisoners is to Denis Villeneuve.
Okay.
In terms of like,
Okay.
I don't know if it's like objectively the best film David Fincher's made. Probably not. Is it my favorite? Debatable. But is it, if I wanted to show somebody like, hey, this guy, David Fincher, makes great films,
Sure.
and I wanted to show this to a mass amount of people, I would turn on Gone Girl, and I think most people would be like, hey, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Right? Where if you were to turn on Seven, there may be some people who's like, I mean, it's good, but I don't really like horror thrillers, right? You know, so like, I think that's what kind of feeds this, where the same way it is for Prisoners, where you can turn that on. It's like, hey, I think that's a good movie for the masses. Somebody may watch Blade Runner 2049 and be like, I mean, yeah, it looks cool, but like, no, that movie's not for me. So that's kind of the easiest way I can detail it. And I know, Nathaniel, you were going to jump in there, but that's kind of my quick thoughts.
No, I'm 100% with you. I think you nailed it. Where you're like, if you were gonna go with a Fincher to show someone who hasn't seen Fincher, Gone Girl's probably his most accessible. The only other one I would say is Social Network, but even then, like that's not as much of a thriller, I suppose.
Yeah,
as, like,
it's very dialogue driven.
Yeah, that's I mean that's arguably Fincher's. I don't know. It's been years since I've seen it. Actually, even too, I would almost be a new watch for me at this point. Plus, I wonder how that one's aged as well too. Now that Facebook's insane, but yeah, no, I think you're right. I think too, like this one came out at a time where it was like I felt like the world was really into the kind of like thriller, particularly like female-led thrillers at one point, and it was just kind of like it felt like a natural reaction or a natural fit after Girl with the Dragon Tattoo for Fincher to do this one too. In terms of myself, I definitely really like this one as well too. Kind of like what the guys were saying. It was like one that I started at like 9:30, and I was like, man, I'll probably watch like an hour of this and then like go to bed kind of thing. Finish the rest of it tomorrow. But I ended up watching the whole thing in one sitting. And you know,
put this one down.
I think it to Adam's point, it moves fast. It's very tightly constructed as a film itself too. I think Fincher has like a reputation for being this kind of like cold, emotionless filmmaker, and I don't necessarily think that's true. I think it's just like he does not he assumes the audience is smart and like can like follow along and will make jumps and like doesn't need everything spelled out for them as well too. And I think that's definitely present in this one, maybe not as much as maybe some of his other ones, but like I think it's just it's a good marriage of material and director. Marriage, see what I did there? But
Good one.
And performances.
Grab your lover.
Grab your lover. Check out Gone Girl. Performances are all great. I think Ben Affleck's really good in this. This was probably one of the bigger roles I think I'd seen him in for a while.
Yeah, for sure. Probably
Yeah.
before this, you'd have to. When's The Town? Is The
Yeah,
Town
I was
before
gonna
this?
say The Town was definitely prior to this, but that was kind of like
Okay.
his turnaround, right?
Mhm.
After a bit of a time
Sounds
away.
so good.
Town is great.
Sure. Got to get it on pod.
I think Rosamund Pike's never been better. She's amazing in this, and like it's crazy if you look at her career.
Yeah.
Like she's just in a bunch of shit, and you're just like, why is this the way that it is?
Yeah, that's my reaction coming out of this viewing, and I kind of felt similar the first time where I was like, oh, she was like incredible, but I didn't care enough to go out and look up like what else she was in. But like now looking at her IMDb, it's like she did this, and I would expect her to then be in every movie possible going
Yeah.
forward. And then I look at
Mhm.
what she's done since. It's just like, you know, random TV shows and some.
She's
random
always
movies
been
and
like
stuff
that.
but not
She's
a lot
like
of that
it's always been like
Yeah.
she is just an actor and actress that like elevates anything that she's in, but like she will just do the most random shit, and just like some of it's just not good either. Too like
She's in the 2005 Doom movie.
yeah, sounds about right.
Oh my God, that is her.
Leah
Oh,
does
I know
not
exactly what you're
like
talking about.
her.
I never pieced that together. That's funny.
Okay.
Leah's not a
Um,
fan.
Leah does not like
Of
Rosamund
Doom?
Pike.
Rosamund Pike, yeah.
Oh, why not?
I don't know. I mean,
Is
well,
it
I
because of
know,
her
but like it was
association
just
to her character in this movie?
no. She just didn't like her in the part.
All right, fair
I mean,
enough.
that's fair. Wait, The Rock's in
No.
this Doom movie
Yeah,
and
right.
Carl Urban?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, that
god.
side note, that Doom movie is awesome, and I never realized that's Rosamund Pike till you said it. And like the face, I was like, I know exactly who it is. She's the lead.
Yeah, she's the only other girl in the movie.
She's a female lead in that. Yeah, I think she's actually the only woman in that movie. if I'm not mistaken.
She is. Looking at this
They're
cast,
talking.
she is.
Yeah.
That's funny though. But yeah, no, I would expect her to then be in every A-list movie for the next couple of years following this release, but she
Sure.
wasn't, and that's just shocking to me. Like I look through IMDb, and usually in a situation like that, I'm like, oh, she's in this that I've seen, and I just didn't really recognize her at the time. But like, no, there's just like not much else that she's been in that I've really seen.
It was
except that I've heard of, obviously, but yeah, it's odd.
it was really on this rewatch that I was like kind of like struck by how many, and this is gonna sound insane, but like how many women are in the movie, like how many actresses that are in there in kind of like even smaller roles as well too, and how
Sure, yeah.
and they're all really good, but like they're all like all of the side characters in the movie that would typically be like male, I feel like are in this one female instead as well too.
The detective happens to be a woman.
Right. Yeah, you have like Kim Dickens as the detective. You have the
who's great, by the way.
Yeah,
And
she's awesome.
quick side note, I feel like she nails the like Missouri accent where it's not all the way Southern, but it's kind of Southern. Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
She like kind of nailed it. Yeah,
She's really great in the show Deadwood. She plays
that's what I saw on her IMDb.
Yeah, she plays the the lady that runs not hostel. Place where you go to sleep with people. Prostitute place. Whorehouse.
A brothel.
Brothel.
Oh,
Yeah.
brothel. Everyone, find your lover at the nearest brothel.
Not hostile.
Yeah.
Brothel.
Not hostile.
Close enough.
Yeah, she's really good in that as well too. I think the neighbor I think is really great. The one that's like claiming to be really good friends with
Oh,
with Rosamund Pike. Yeah, and Margot, the sister, is amazing as well too. Carrie Coon.
Margot's great. That good
go.
catch.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
call.
She's
She's really good.
She's amazing.
Shout out Margot as a character, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
she's the
dude,
best
we all
character in
need
the
a
whole
Margot
movie.
in our life.
Yeah.
She is. She's like the only good person, really.
But yeah, no, I think this movie in particular is like, again, it's Fincher and getting pushed with material that is like definitely up to his level, and him taking a big crack at it. Personally, I don't think it's my favorite Fincher, but it's still a really good example of it, as the boys have said as well too. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
I think it's pretty great. Obviously not my first watch. Leah and I watched this last night. Way longer than I remember. I didn't even look at the time before we even turned it on. I was like, yeah, fuck it. And then like, I'm like, we got to take a break real quick to, you know, put dishes away or whatever it was.
Sure.
And then I saw how much time was left, and I was like, no shot. And then Leah said she was off today, so I was like, oh, okay, well then I don't care.
Yeah, I feel like it rolls really well though. Like again, it's very
Yeah, I
tightly.
will say, kind of like how you said earlier, it feels fast. I really don't think it does feel fast, but it feels like a really good pace. Like it,
Sure.
you never feel like it's deliberately slow anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't slow down, doesn't bore you at all.
But there were definitely times where I was like, oh yeah, there is a lot of detail here, which is why
Yeah, it's a dense
it's
movie.
as long as
for
it
sure.
is, for sure. So yeah, I mean, that was one of the things I definitely forgot. But I mean, overall, still a really pleasant watch through. I obviously like the detective crime parts of it, and just seeing those conversations. I love seeing her kind of go through her progressions on what she's actually believing and what she's trying to figure out. So that is a really cool point of view from her that I've always liked. Shout out Neil Patrick Harris, just for being NPH. And then Tyler Perry rocks, dude.
He's so good
I
in this
know-
as well
so
too.
good at this. He's
I know
great.
so many people like just associate him with so many other things. And then when you see him in roles like this, you're like, oh shit, dude slaps.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
when Johnny Knoxville shows up in something. You're just like, what the hell are you doing here?
And yeah, so I thoroughly enjoy his character.
Mhm.
As a whole, I think he definitely pulls his weight, and I think it's acted really well, it's written really well. And I think his personality in that kind of way that they brought him in works really, really well. But yeah, overall, pretty decent. Leah did say it's Rosamund's voice that kind of kills her, and then when you get like those kind of like super dialogue heavy
Yeah.
voiceovers,
I was
where
the
it's
cool
almost like
girl.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
kinda
very,
yeah.
she's very performative in how the voice is kind of like, being relayed to the viewer.
Yeah. So that was, I guess, her main peeve. But you know, shit goes down.
Shit
Um,
goes down.
Yeah.
Definitely recommends for all four of us. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, regardless.
Yeah, I think so.
I think this is one that I feel like a lot of people that don't talk about this one as much.
Not
Like-
anymore. It was very well talked
For a
about,
while,
like
yeah.
for the first
Yeah.
5 years after it came
Yeah.
out, but ever since then it fell off pretty hard. But yeah, no, I agree. This is definitely one that still needs to be talked about.
I
I mean,
guess-
people have seen this movie though. Like you still bring
Yeah.
up Gone Girl. Like people know this movie for
I guess
sure.
if we're talking Finchers, right? Like Girl with the
Yeah.
Dragon Tattoo is probably still less seen than like this overall, I would say.
Yeah,
Oh,
Give it, like-
yeah, absolutely.
give it like 10 to 15 years, and then it'll come back around. You know how it goes. Everything.
Yeah. Bold of you to assume we'll
Has
be here in 10 to 15 years.
Very bold. You're right. Optimistic. You know
There
what,
you go.
Nathaniel? Optimistic.
What do
That's
you-
why you should get this movie on hard copy so that when everything crashes and you're in your bunker, you can watch it as many times as you'd like.
You can spin your bike in the corner for an hour and a half to get enough electricity to
There you
watch
go.
45
Now
minutes
we're
of
talking.
this.
Now we're talking. Tyler, do you have a copy of this at the cabin?
I do not.
All right, I'll bring one. Don't worry. Just send me the address.
I cannot divulge that information.
Damn it. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and head into spoilers. So if you have not seen Gone Girl, and trust me, this is definitely one that you do not want spoiled for you. So go ahead, check that episode description. I've left a timestamp you can jump to where you'll be taken to the ranking of the movie up upon our entry list.
Up upon.
Spoiler time, Nathaniel. What noise you got for us this week?
Shit goes down.
That doesn't feel right. That doesn't fit the vibe of the movie. There's no jokes here.
Boom-ch. Y'all got fooled.
All right, sad trombone as well too.
All right, that's good. That works. Some shit goes down, fellas.
So I had
Shit
not.
goes down.
Anyone read the book?
No, I'm
No.
not.
No, yeah, I didn't.
Should
I
we?
have not.
I didn't think we
We're
had. I
selling
haven't
that
read
at
it
Barnes
either.
and Noble.
Have you read the book, babe? She is not.
Yeah, I believe my girlfriend's read the book though, if I'm not mistaken. When she was
Oh.
talking about it.
Did you watch it with her?
Don't have details though.
Okay.
Right now, she's not ready.
Can you call her?
Yeah, can you phone her on the pod?
Okay, yeah, can you please
Yeah,
call her?
yeah.
I need someone who's read the book on this.
My mom's probably read it. You want me to call her?
I'm always in.
My mom's read everything. My mom's read everything about everything.
Wow. My dad can beat
Yeah.
up your dad too.
For sure. My mom's absolutely read more than your mom.
Wow. No, but I'm
Flex.
interested to read the book and see how well it's adapted to the big screen. Just because, like I said earlier, the same writer of the book is the same writer,
Same
of the
author,
screenplay,
yeah.
And yeah.
I
So
guess I kind of would be too, but I don't know. Maybe I'll leave that to Leah. Maybe I'll have her read down. I'm totally like one of my things is reading more this year. So
I was gonna say I thought you were trying to read
Yeah.
more, and here you are
Yeah,
declining
yeah.
an option to read.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this one just isn't my vibe.
Maybe not.
I'm really trying to
Um,
make it like an achievable goal for me, so I don't want to get into things that
That's
I know
fair.
I'm not going to read.
I'll just let me lend you Dune. All right, it'll get you through the year.
Yeah,
I knew that was going to be.
thought
an ad
about
placement
it,
for Dune.
and I think it's just too heavy right now. I think maybe towards the back end of the year we'll see how I'm feeling.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's okay. Dune will be ready for you when you're ready.
Dude's always ready when I'm ready.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, always. But I one thing I will say, book to screen adaptation. It's funny how like they make this movie paced and feel like a book almost. Like they do
Sure.
these kind of fade to close to
Yeah.
end scenes rather than a cut to a different
Mhm.
scene or like a crossfade or anything like that. It is like
So-
fade to black, and they almost feel like chapters are ending, and there's
Yeah.
more of a significant kind of feeling of the passage of time, kind of. And it definitely does kind of almost fit the pacing of a book a little bit.
Well, they
But-
also have the time stamping in the bottom left-hand
Yeah.
corner of the
Right,
movie when
right,
you're
of
doing it,
course.
which is also
Right.
helpful. I don't know if it would
Yeah.
be more effective if they just did kind of like the old like Quentin Tarantino, like chapter 1, you know,
Oh,
just blatantly on the screen. Yeah, I'd be curious to see how that played out. That'd be a really cool edit.
I like the days just because
do too.
story wise, it gives you more context of how much time
Sure.
has passed since it happened.
sure.
Because like a lot happens and it's like, oh,
Well,
it's
and
only been 7
when you're
days.
switching between characters too, it's helpful as well.
Right. Especially in like the second half when we go and see
Her perspective.
Amy's perspective and you see how many days since it's been obviously since
Yeah,
been on the
and
run.
so that's one thing I definitely feel like I picked up on more this time around is the changes in Amy, like on during her kind of journey through there as well
Mhm.
too, and then like the whole. Because I remembered it being like Neil Patrick Harris being very much like under her thrall and like just kind of like in 100% in kind of thing. But I was definitely on this rewatch when I was watching. I was like, oh no, he's awful. Like he's like
Mhm.
making her like switch
he's-
back
he's
to like her like eat the right way and like take care of
Yeah.
yourself and all that kind of thing
Right.
too. And
yeah,
that
dude
was
sucks.
that was a whole element that I just didn't realize or I'd forgotten was in it as well too. My partner has read the book and she said that the switches back and forth are very much just like the novel as well too in terms of its
okay.
structure and how you will sometimes like go back in time with the couple and then switch to like forward time with like Ben Affleck and then back in time and then you switch to the Amy side of things as well too
Which-
and that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I love that as like a storytelling device to like
Right,
go in
100%.
between these kind of 3 time periods, and it turns out that the narration we're hearing is actually from the diary. I mean, you kind of find that out somewhat early on. It's not immediately apparent.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the way that storytelling device of kind of like 3 separate
was-
chapters getting interwoven at the same time. It's very well done.
And that was definitely the bit that I had lost, or I had forgotten, like kind of how
Mhm.
everything tied together in terms of
Yeah.
the storytelling and that kind of thing, and who was feeling what at what time, and at what point we were getting like the unreliable narrator versus like what we're actually getting from Amy and that kind of thing. And obviously that's well done, and a huge part of it as well too, is this kind of like, well, all of our point of view characters could either be lying to us or we're only seeing part of it, right?
Unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Good old unreliable.
Then let's cut to the chase here, then, fellas. Whose side are we on here?
Margot.
You gotta pick one.
I'm on Margot's side.
Yeah,
Listen,
I mean,
and that, it's a great question because that's something I come away from this movie, similar to what was the one that I don't remember. Anyway, but that's something I came away with this one where it's like they're both bad people.
For
Like,
sure.
yeah, she's crazy, but he's not a good person. He's done bad
Yeah.
things, and
it was definitely on this watch where I was like, oh no, he kind of wants this as well too, kind of thing. Like,
sure.
her whole thing of like, yeah, I made you a better person, and like when you were with me, you were striving to be this kind of like next level kind of thing, and don't you want that?
Right.
And I thought that was definitely a whole thing. I mean, she's definitely a psychopath. Like, let's
Oh,
yeah,
without a
certified.
doubt.
No question.
Like she
Fat shit, yeah.
doesn't have
No.
she doesn't have the emotional bit that's like regulating the rest of us, right? She's with you for as long as you're interesting to her or useful to her, right?
Mhm.
However, Ben Affleck's definitely like, he's kind of like, yeah, I'm in on that too. And like, I think that's a great scene later on when Margot, or when Carrie Coon's character and him are in the living room, and she's like, "Oh no, you want to go back to this, don't you? Like,
Yeah.
just say it," kind of thing, and then we can kind of move past it overall.
Right.
Yeah, I
worst.
mean, it's a kind of like being between a rock and a hard place, right? Where the Ben Affleck character definitely values the relationship for a lot of the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of the financial reasons, a lot of the security reasons, not
Well,
for
and-
actually
and-
valuing the person.
And doesn't value parts of it as well too, as we've
Yeah,
learned.
right.
you
Yeah,
know,
and she's on the other end of that. She's on the, oddly enough, the exact opposite end, but wants to be with him for other reasons.
Yeah.
Right. So it's I think I can't think of the exact quote of Tyler Perry's character, what he quotes at the end, but he's like, "You guys are like fucking perfect for each other."
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you're both crazy as hell. And yeah, ultimately, I think he understands that like the business he owns is in her name, right? She's got financial security. There's even hints that like it seems like he doesn't want to take the path his parents took, or more specifically, like his father took,
Sure.
right? And he didn't really want to be. I think there was a line in there about calling him like a bum or lazy or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely multi-layered.
It's one of your Missouri boys. Adam, how'd you feel about that? Did you feel like he was accurately representing Missouri?
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he could be from Missouri. I mean, obviously he's a Boston man, but he fits the bill. I like how kind of some of the plot line is like when his in-laws come into town and the mom's upset that people are treating him so nicely, and she's like, it feels like you're the homecoming king. It's like, dude, that's just, if you're from a small Missouri town and this kind of shit happens, like, yeah, that's how the community is going to rally
Yeah.
around you. And I think it's interesting that they had that be kind of a plot point where it's like, these parents that are rich parents from the big city of New York, like, have no sense of community in that kind of respect, and like don't understand why he's being treated that way and why they aren't, but it's like they're outsiders, really.
That was one of the things I did love on this, was the relationship between the parents and them as well too, because Amy doesn't like them either. And it's
Right.
very
Right.
much in their relationship of just like, we just gotta fucking deal with this and like move
Mhm.
on kind of thing. And then like when she disappears and kind of just drops them in his lap, I think is just such a great character like relationship that you don't really see often, right? We always talk about like, show me something new, show me something different, show me something that I haven't seen before. And like that, I think, is something that was very interesting and well done in that like kind of whole idea, which has only become even more crazy because like, can you imagine like a story like this happening in 2025? We're not in 2024 anymore. Like we would find that dude in 48 hours. The same
if
way we
Luigi
found Luigi
can't get away,
yeah.
no one can. Yeah.
So like that's I guess the crazy part to me as well too, is that like it even feels dated in some ways already. Like
kind of, yeah. I would say that, you know, I guess depending on how much research you've done and how careful you are, it is. I mean, you can disappear somewhat.
100%.
It is definitely a lot harder than it was.
If you're above a certain financial class, it's pretty difficult as well too.
Well, if you make sure to order ahead of time at McDonald's, that helps too.
True.
Ooh, that's my other favorite part of the movie is when she comes across real criminals, and she's just like,
it's so good,
and it's like,
well, that's such a plot twist itself too.
You think that you're like here and smarter than everyone else, but you've never had to like actually live
right
in this environment, and like you are
and that,
unprepared.
Greta gives that line of like, you look like you've never been hit hard before, and then shoves her into the wall. It's like so good. It's like, yeah, she's really, you know, she thinks she's all that, but she was not prepared for, you know, the fact that she's on her own with just a bunch of cash and defenseless.
And she's super right. She's like, you are lucky that it was us. There are way worse people out there.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, of course, you know, that kind of foreshadows to Neil Patrick Harris, who is kind of way worse.
Yeah.
Maybe not a actual on paper criminal yet, but clearly some bad habits have been formed there on his part. And then, you know, you take a box cutter to the neck, which is fucking wild.
Yeah, that was
Yes, I remember the first time I caught this movie, seeing that one was like, okay, she's insane.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of like the next level. You're like,
I mean, it's one thing where she
kept
cuts
getting
his neck, and then the next thing where like she shows up at the house, and you're just like, how the fuck are you gonna get out of this one?
Yeah.
And yeah, gold. And Ben Affleck, I know he's not meant to be comedic at all. The way he delivers some of these lines of like the most nonchalant, uninterested husband of all time is comical.
Her whole thing when he's on the couch playing video games, you're like, yeah, it is his fault. Get off your fucking ass, bro. Your wife's hot as shit and is rich as hell. Like, you should be doing something.
What did he say? I just want to shoot some folk or something like that.
Yeah, I just want to shoot something. Like, what are you doing, man?
What is this laptop for? Laptopping? It's like, you can't even say job searching? Like, dude, it's all about branding, man. It's just your messaging is off, all right? Like,
and like, you know, at that point, they're completely sick of each other because she's like, she comes up to him and makes a comment about video gaming, and he's like, what? I can't play video games, and you just spent $878,000. Just like immediate retaliation and argument.
Without asking me? That's not your fucking money, bro.
Yeah. Facts. It's not his money.
Yeah, he's good in this one.
And then bring up the prenup stuff.
100%. Yeah, I think
it was. I mean,
why keep throwing that in my face? Because it's easy to throw. Good line. Good line.
It's
methodical.
The story's written well, and you can see the Amy Dunn character is written so well because there's so many layers to it, right? So even when you look at like the diary point where she's telling the story of how she's falsifying the diary, but she's like, first, I don't know what she says, like 30 something pages of it are all accurate.
Yeah.
So
like,
it puts Ben Affleck
story.
in a bad situation. So he's gonna be like, well, technically, all the good things about it, all the good things about me in the diary are actually true. And then everything that's bad is made up, which just seems too obvious for anyone to exactly. The police would be like, okay, that's fucking bullshit. And that's ultimately the truth, though. where everything in there that is accurate is actually the true love story of how they met, how they got along, and
Yeah.
then all of the rest of it is mostly falsified from per what she's saying. So it's yeah, there's a lot of layers to it. You can say it's well thought out for sure.
Absolutely.
I love the
Yeah.
interactions too between Ben and the cops.
Hmm.
It's just so well thought out. I love how they're both just constantly trying to go through it. You can genuinely tell that he feels like he is innocent.
But they're
then you could
also super smart about how
see-
they're like kind of like plotting it out as well too, like their own
Yeah.
thought process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
That scene where they first show up at the house is really great, and she starts
For
putting
sure.
the Post-it notes up, and you're just like, "Oh shit!" Like,
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah, I
on your
mean, you
side,
could- he's like,
homie.
should I be
Yeah,
nervous
you
right
can
now?
immediately see the panic kind of set in, and then you start second guessing all your answers to what you're saying, and
Right.
yeah, it just starts to throw up a ton of red flags. But yeah, man, so good. And then you just find out like the mystery the way that they kind of do. You find out that there is a ton of blood in the house. But yeah, I love kind of figuring it out
I would not.
with them through the first watch, and then again, you just I haven't seen this movie in probably like I don't know 5-7 years, somewhere in there.
I think I'm with you. I'm north of 5 years.
So yeah, just killer.
I feel like if it happened to me, I would never have figured out that my wife was like the one that did it.
I mean,
I'd be like, well,
I guess
shit,
you're-
she's gone. Like,
Yeah.
guess I'm
I
I
fucked.
guess it really kind of depends because like when you spend that much time with somebody, then you really do know who they
Yeah.
are, which is why like the mystery for him, like the scavenger hunt is cool for him because only he is really able to solve these problems because of all their little innuendos and little things about their
Yeah.
relationship. So it is cool to see them kind of pull that in there as well.
Yeah, and he knows it's kind of all a ploy as well because when you get the really good scene where Rosamund Pike is at what's the gentleman's name? I forgot. Patrick. Is it
Oh,
Patrick?
Desi.
Patrick?
Desi
Desi, thank you.
Collins.
And she's sitting there eating the ice cream. Then Ben Affleck's giving like
Yeah, the
the
speech.
first time he
Yeah.
actually looks like a real human, right up there having
Yeah.
real emotions, even though they're completely bullshit. And then she's like, "Well, do you think your wife is still out there?" And he's like, "I know she's out there."
Yeah.
Right? He's kind of giving her the like, "Yeah, like I know you're not dead, and
Yeah.
I know you're watching this right now." And that was pretty much the turning point for her to see him just
Yeah, no,
show
he-
any sort of emotion, even though it's all bullshit, and she knows it's all bullshit. It's almost like she's feeding into the
well,
like,
and
well,
when,
fuck it. If he can just lie about it, then let's do it.
when
you
she
know?
comes back, she says like, you begged me to come save you,
Yeah.
kind of thing, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't think that's what
Yeah,
that
she's-
was.
she's a-
Yeah.
master gaslighter.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to give her props for being able to, her plan went south when all that money was stolen, and she still was able to work it out because
Yeah,
it really could have ended
impressive.
poorly at that point, So got to give her props. I do say, or I will say, the kind of turning point where you're like, you kind of start to sympathize with her is that great kind of bit where she's telling the story of how kind of what triggered all of this from happening is when he did the same first kiss thing to
Oh, sure,
the
sure. To
person that
Emily
he was cheating on her
Ratajkowski?
with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy, I think was her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like telling that story and like, dude, that is really messed up. Like that
Yeah.
would
Yeah,
cause me to do
100%.
some probably psycho
For
shit.
sure.
So yeah, like that's where you're kind of like, all right, I can kind of like definitely empathize with that, and that's when you almost fully turn on Ben Affleck, where it's like I know you're the protagonist, but you're not really a good guy.
Oh yeah, he's a complete asshole. Even in
yeah,
the
he's-
wake of like
yeah.
the potential your wife's dead, and he's like seeing the mistress like within
Yeah.
12 hours. He's
Yeah.
like, dude,
Right,
you're
it's
fucking
day of.
insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is nuts.
It
Which is interesting.
genuinely makes me wonder how many like people are living like these shitty relationships on a regular
Oh, dude.
basis.
Can't even count it.
Yeah.
You know, and then they do have a kid, and then they are kind of stuck in it because somebody is more financially stable, and then like it's just like think of how unhealthy that is, dude.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely.
That's wild.
Sure, it happens.
I would
way
say that's
more
the
than you think.
reality for. I don't know. I'm not a therapist. I can't put percentages or therapize anybody. I would have bet you that's more relationships than not.
Oh,
You
for
heard it
sure. It's
here.
more than you're thinking about.
Heard it here first, folks. Don't have kids.
No. That is not what we said.
Hey, that is what I took away from the movie. What movie did you watch, Tyler?
That's the biggest
No.
takeaway of the movie.
Because me and Nathaniel got that out of the movie. I don't know what movie you were watching.
Children
guys are
will
idiots.
shackle you to
How about pick the right
psychopaths.
partner? That's actually my favorite saying.
Actually, that's my favorite saying.
That's funny. I don't think anyone got that one
God.
besides maybe
No,
Adam.
yeah, I don't know. Hopefully,
That's
listener out there did. Shout out LeBron. Man, actually,
Yeah.
that's my favorite.
Side note though, also shout out the cat in this one. This is now, I think we've had a cat in a film now, maybe two.
This
of the
one
past
survives.
5 or 6 films. Yeah. Shout out the cat, man. Solid orange
Shout
cat.
out the cat.
That shot
Does
with
the cat have a
with I don't know if it does.
No,
Yeah,
even the detective's like he asked me to feed his cat. The cat is unnamed, I believe.
Maybe this calls for a third watch.
Could be.
Just for the cat's name.
I think he just calls it like Buddy or something like that.
I will say that shot of the cat laying on the bed right when you open the door, when the cops are first there and he opens the door to the bedroom. Like it looks like a very majestic shot of that cat. I was like, oh shit. So
Yeah.
I did see that.
The cat in Gone Girl is named Bleeker.
Oh wow.
Is that the name of the actor cat or of the name of the character cat?
I don't know.
Okay.
And what was his split from the movie? That's the real question.
Yeah, do you get a percentage?
If nothing is sacred to amazing Amy, can a measly little marmalade cat be safe from harm? Actually, yes, and there's a very good reason why. Bleeker, the cat, aka Cheeto, serves as an interesting barometer for how we're supposed to feel about Nick or Amy during different scenes.
Okay, so I'm gonna
So
guess
his
Bleeker,
maybe the name in the film.
Bleeker is the
Cheeto?
character name. Cheeto is the cat, the actor cat.
Is the government name?
Yeah.
No, this other thing is saying Bleeker is Amy's cat. So I don't know which it is.
So Bleeker is
That's what it says.
Bleeker is the cat in the book. Cheeto is the name of the actor cat.
I don't know. I think they maybe just call it both. Maybe Ben calls it Bleeker and maybe Amy calls it Cheeto. I don't have the answers you're looking for, Nathaniel. Go ask your lady, all right? And maybe she can answer it.
Yeah,
I didn't read
the book
name
would
for
be
an
more
orange cat
in-depth.
though.
probably. Maybe the cat isn't
Sorry, what was
featured
that,
in the
Ty?
book.
Cat really this important.
Yeah. Cats are always important.
Yeah.
Cats are important.
All right, we want
Yeah.
to put this thing on the list here.
Well, any favorite
so.
scenes for you, gang?
Ooh.
I do like the reveal. I remember the first time watching this, it didn't hit quite as hard on this time. But I remember the reveal of the tool shed, and he opens that up, and it's all the shit in there.
Sure,
I remember
yeah.
that being a huge reveal, where it's like, oh, he's not crazy. Like she did set, like that was the
Yeah.
confirmation. Like she did set him up. Like that was when everything kind of turns. Because I remember the first time watching this, as he's going through the scavenger hunt, you're like, well, did he do it? Did she disappear? Did something else happen? And like the scavenger hunt, like, did she leave this here before something happened? And he's just now uncovering the clues. And like, you're not really sure exactly what to expect. And then that is the moment that you're like, oh, that's what's going on. Like he's right. Like she's psycho. And he is being set up. So I remember that being a big kind of big moment watching it on the first time around. This time around, I can't really say there was a scene that stuck out too much. Although I did enjoy the flashback scenes quite a bit. I don't know why. There was something about
Yeah, I
those
think that's
flashback
what I'd
scenes I
probably
had.
lean on.
Yeah, I think
Flashback ones.
anytime Rosamund Pike's on screen, she's electric.
Mhm.
Same with Carrie Coon. She's amazing in this as well too. I would say the scene that sticks out in my mind for me, honestly, from the Ben Affleck perspective, is the where she's missing the memorial thing, and he's like, the media doesn't want you to know this, but I didn't kill my wife.
I did not kill my wife. It's like an awkward pause. I'm like, man, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I know.
And then he ends up like running out of it, kind of thing, because someone else like says something or something. I think that like for me
It's
is like
the
the
neighbor.
highlight. Yeah, that's right. The nailer's like, did you know she was pregnant?
Yeah.
And it's, that I think for me is probably my favorite scene of the movie, where he's so out of his depth. And like
He's so tone deaf.
and and Margot's there, she's reacting to it. The parents are in the shot as well too. The cops are there as well, and like he's just completely out of his depth. And I think that's a really great scene.
He's just so naive because he knows he's innocent, and he just thinks because he's you kind of get the impression, I'm a straight white man from Missouri, and like, like why would I kill my wife?
Right.
Like, obviously I'm innocent.
Everything's
I know I'm
always worked
innocent.
out for me so far.
Right, exactly.
For
I'm, everyone else is going to assume I'm innocent as well, as long as I can continue to say that I am, and everything else will just work out, no matter how I act or whatever.
He's very
It's
much
just
that
kind of
that
arrogance.
that photo that you see of like a white man on a jet ski, and it's like, this is the photo that they say before like this man killed his wife and family or whatever, and they always like run that photo in the newspaper or whatever, like family man kills 4.
Right.
I would have to say the scene where the cops first come over and they're doing the sticky notes, kind of like we said. You could just see that first onset of panic from him, like this is real, and they're actually looking at me, and we're not currently on the same team. But also you can see that he's genuinely confused and like, what the fuck is going on?
He's had a bourbon at 10 a.m. He's a little blitzed.
For sure. Or for me, I guess the obvious is Neil Patrick getting sliced, like just so visceral and just insane.
See, for me, that falls into that thing of like, I can't not see Barney Stinson nowadays. Like anytime Neil Patrick shows up in something, I'm just like, there he is. Like, he's too iconic. Almost, I feel like the same thing if like Steve Carell shows up in something. It's just like, oh, well, there's Michael Scott.
Sure.
Steve Carell has broken out of that more than I think Neil Patrick Harris has. There's definitely always going to be that Michael Scott in the back of my mind, but I think he had that run of like Foxcatcher, and then he did a couple other movies subsequently that
I just think of Doogie Howser every time.
Sure. A similar thing like Daniel Radcliffe. You're just like, well, that's Harry Potter.
Yeah, it is. He is. Or Hardcore Henry. Is that him in that?
That's not him.
I
believe it is.
No.
Oh, it's not? Oh, my God,
maybe he is.
crazy.
I don't know. I know he's in Now You See Me Too. Same movie, right?
Really quick, now that I'm thinking, I think what I would land on my favorite scene being is that opening detective scene, and they're asking Ben Affleck all the questions about his wife, and he ultimately doesn't know anything.
He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any friends. She's
And
a
then
voracious
he's
reader.
talking to his then he's talking to his sister later, kind of detailing. And then she's like, well, what did you tell him? And he's like, well, I don't know. I told her she's interesting. And she's like, what?
Or complicated.
Everyone knows interesting is code, or complicated. He's like, everyone knows complicated is code for bitch.
Yeah,
I think I'd probably go with that.
Margot's the highlight of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she carries a lot of brevity and carries the goodness of the characters in this movie, because I mean, it doesn't necessarily stop at Ben Affleck. A lot of like the side characters, like we talked about the in-laws. I mean, I don't know, they don't seem
They're
to have
garbage.
anyone
His dad
else's-
sucks. Like, yeah,
Well,
like
okay, his dad's got some problems.
his dad sucks. Andy's
Yeah.
awful, but she's also like 23, so like that's to be expected. Like, I do love that whole bit with Tyler Perry where he's like, she's a ticking time bomb. He's like, she won't do that.
Oh,
He's like,
yeah.
no, they do. They always do.
No, they do.
Like,
Yeah. I love the line about that where she's like, what? You did it at Dad's house and my shed? Like, go get a hotel. She's like, I can't. Like, all my credit card bills go to Amy. She's like, all right, well, then Andy pay for it. She goes, no, all of her bills go to her parents. She's like, gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 100% in the thing of like, well, like I'm not gonna try and justify it, but like it's okay. And his sister's like, no, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for sure. Ben. When are you gonna learn?
Let's rank it, man. I'm curious to know. This is it's a good film. You can see just from the constant combo we're having here, back and forth. Everyone
Sure.
does like it.
It's definitely a good one. But we're gonna go ahead and welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're gonna go ahead and throw Gone Girl Hop Upon our Entropy list.
Hop
For
upon.
those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of all the movies we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. It's essentially how we rate our movies, rather than do out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw up all the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you want to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
Or is it?
It should be. I'm looking at it right now, so it's your problem, not mine.
Or is it?
It is. No, it's definitely your problem.
Or is
It
it?
is. We've
But have we
confirmed.
thought about if it is?
Sorry,
entry
bud. We are
two-
confirmed.
217 on the Entropy list. All the way at the bottom here, we have Borderlands, and at number 1, of course, we have Dune Part 2. Let's see where our other Finchers are at the moment. 7 is at 24. Looks like that's the highest rated one. We have Girl with the Dragon Tattoo at 29, and Zodiac right below that one at 37. So only a spread of, what would that be, 13 spots from 7 down to Zodiac, and all 3 films probably in that upper echelon of like our S tier of the list, kind of. I would say they're all up there.
It's gonna be tough, fellas.
This one is gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough.
I
Seems like
like this
it's-
a lot, though.
I do. I love this movie. I do. And thinking about it all day, watching it last night, and thinking about it all day today, I'm like, I do really, really like this movie.
Honestly, it's like,
Man,
does anyone know where they want to go, or am I
I'm
just talking
pretty
out loud in the wrong
close
place?
to wanting to know where I want to go. I think there's honestly a big gap at 100. You got Blade at 98, Frozen 2 at 99, Predator at 100. Then you go to Rain of Fire. Like, there could be a pretty decent gap there, but then I also think there's a pretty big
Is this
gap
a
between
bit?
like. No, I swear to God.
Did you say, is this a bit?
Yeah.
That's what he said.
So Adam is way higher than that.
Yeah, for sure. He's got to be.
Okay.
But like, I mean, you're also talking about like Blade, Redline. Like, I'm watching all these movies
Yeah.
before I watch this movie. I just got done saying I haven't watched this movie in like 7 years.
You're not wrong.
That ultimately that is true. I am watching Blade before I watch this.
You're putting this below. Sorry to bother you. Deadpool. Inside Out 2.
I mean, Gladiator, Inside Out 2,
Yeah,
those are
but,
both
like-
absolute bangers.
Ultimately, though, I am significantly higher than Ty. Just on my first placement right now, I can be talked any direction here, fellas. But
Let it be
I guess,
known.
Ty,
I can be
what are you
talked.
thinking then?
Maybe I'm a little bit lower, but like, there's, or I mean, a little bit. I could be convinced to go a little bit higher, but I mean, even then, you're talking about Redline at 88, Terminator at 90. Like, I mean, you're talking about some.
I mean,
Some
okay,
pretty-
this movie's not in bad company at that spot. Obviously, we know we have a lot of good movies on this list, but this is, this is better than a lot of these movies.
Okay, I got a spot.
It's not
All right,
groundbreaking.
Nathaniel's got it.
Let it rip.
It is tight.
I'm gonna go 69. I'm gonna go below The Boy and the Heron,
You
above
would.
Nightcrawler.
No pun intended.
And honestly,
Is that a
the reason is
Actually, my favorite sage.
I was never expecting the double down on that one.
first of all, Happy International Women's Day. Second.
First of all,
My God, that is by far and away the
that actually
funniest
is
LeBron
number
meme.
one. Okay, for context, listeners, earlier this week in our group chat, we had a debate. Well, not necessarily a debate, but we had a discussion about how LeBron has got some all-time memes, and we were talking about top fives. And I said that this is my favorite saying has got to be in my top five, along with what was the one that I sent originally? This is the best day of my life, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's
Like
him in the
smiling
Through my life.
Can't
Yeah.
be-
This is my life.
Yeah, can't believe this is my life. But you know what? Now that you say it, Nathaniel, the International Women's Day, that might be.
Oh
number
yeah,
one.
that is hilarious.
That
First
is
of all,
so funny.
Happy International
First
Women's
of
Day.
all, first of all,
To the both of you.
happy-
And he like looks at both of them as he says it.
Happy International Women's Day.
And like, I don't think there's audio for it. It's all lip
No,
reading.
you can only
Like,
listen.
But that's
But it's
exactly what he said.
1,000% what he said. There's no doubt in my mind. And the funniest part about that clip is then the two women he's with, one of
React.
whom is the owner of the
Lakers,
Lakers,
yeah. It's one of them's Jeannie Buss.
is like hanging on to his arm and is like earnestly like, "Thank you so much. Oh, that means
Yeah.
the world." It's just like, oh my God, you guys are grown women.
Anyway.
And
was-
he's
that's
married. Anyway.
Nonetheless, 69 for Nathaniel.
Yeah, and the reason being, like, again, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Seven, Zodiac, those are, for me, some all-time Finchers. Like,
Iconic, dude.
they can't be beat.
This is iconic
However,
too.
but not for me.
It's not.
Not for me.
It's really
Like,
not,
That's
though.
fair. That's fair.
That like I was like I had aged out of it at this point. Like I was old enough. Like again, I feel like for me, Fincher was that like kind of underground guy where like not that many people knew about him, kind of thing. He still had that little bit of Fight Club cred, and like Gone Girl is definitely him going like mainstream. You know what I mean? Not saying that it doesn't fit. Like he should be a mainstream director, but I feel like there's a little bit more texture, a little more zhuzh, a little more hunger to Zodiac, to Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, to Seven.
Umami, bro.
Yeah, a little umami, a little unagi. To quote Friends for a second there. So that being said, I'm at 69. I'm below The Boy and the Heron. I'm above where was I? Above Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is another one that I think fits in with this genre of psychopaths and that kind of like that hunger, that great performance as well too between the two of them.
Just to clarify, 69 would be below Guardians, above Boy and the Heron. If you went it at 70, that's going to be below Boy and above Nightcrawler.
Fine.
Unless I'm looking at
Yeah, 70.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
I just wanted to be 69, bro. Put
Well,
Boy and the
well,
Heron up to
ultimately, though,
68.
Boy and the Heron, if
Put
you want.
point-
I mean,
Boy and the Heron
Ultimately,
up
though,
to
I
68.
do hear where Nathaniel is. I do think this is a
I
cut
do.
above Nightcrawler, but I can see where you're drawing the parallels.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Like, and when I look around there, like for movies around above it, like there's Conjuring, Long Legs, John Wick, Nope, Civil War. Those are all just movies that I personally like more, right?
Sure.
But I think are of like of a similar level of quality of execution overall. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be below The Boy and the Heron, above Nightcrawler, and I'm happy with it.
Where are you going, Ty, Adam?
I'm gonna kind of stick to my guns here a little bit. Also because like Adam literally said at the beginning of the podcast, he said people forgot about this movie. Yeah, they did, and they will again because it's good, but it's not like I don't think it's not. It shouldn't even come close to like top 50. Based on what we got, I mean, dude, you're talking about like Malignant, something that you love at 110. A Quiet Place 117, something that I love. Fall Guy, you're like, Mom, I'll watch Fall Guy tomorrow. You would.
I would. I like that movie. I do like that movie.
X, Prey, like all that stuff's down there, like in the 120s. So like
again,
to put this
you know,
movie-
it's not in bad company down there. It's just just a little bit lower than
I think I moved my gap a little bit though, my little gap meter. So like once you get past Redline, you have Good Will Hunting. You want to talk about groundbreaking? Good Will Hunting, crazy. People still talk about that movie. And then Terminator.
Probably shouldn't age poorly.
Doctor Sleep, like Wakanda Forever, I think might be a little high.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
Yeah. in
Power of Dog,
retrospect.
I really did not connect with that movie at all. Probably a little high.
That
for me.
one is one that every time I see on this list, I'm like, oh yeah, that movie exists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
forgettable.
Like very
So,
forgettable. Good movie, but
since
like just yeah.
since this isn't like kind of like that mid area for me where it is forgettable, but when I do like bring it up, I'm like, wow, it's a good movie. I think that's where that gap is. So I'm gonna put it at 91, below Terminator, above Doctor Sleep.
Fair.
It's not bad.
Um,
That's that's fine.
I do think Adam and I are going to be the highest here.
It sounds like it.
Um,
I mean, I'm higher than 70, so that's kind of a guarantee.
yeah, I think and I really like this movie, and as I said,
Yeah.
kind of opening it, I don't know if it's my favorite Fincher per se, but I do think it's the most palatable film he has, which carries a lot of weight on this entry list when it comes to my personal rankings.
That's a good point.
But I think, as we always say, right, the entry list is an accumulation of 4 different people's opinions. So there's films that we'd love to move back and forth.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think where my ceiling's going to end up being, I think it's going to end up being the It Follows, Training Day, Kill Bill area.
Sure.
Right, so just below 50. I think those are films that are just way too important to me.
That was really where I was hitting my rough parts as well too.
Yeah. So we just did Nosferatu. I mean, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to go 57. I have to put this above Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm sorry. And I think that's my cutoff. And I can't go above It Follows, can't go above Training Day, Kill Bill, Requiem for a Dream, Dunkirk. I think it's just a different cut above that.
See, that's crazy.
Now, Civil War and Long Legs is debatable, right? Love both of those movies. Scream's down there as well. That's fucking kills me every time I see Scream in the 60s. But ultimately, I think that's what I'm sticking to. This is a damn good film. I'm going 57.
Okay. Noted.
I'm thinking Adam's like top 18.
Adam's not allowed to be upset about anything for the whole year, as Dune 2 is still number 1. So
and like
that's valid, actually, I'll take that.
I feel like as time goes on, I side with Nathaniel a little more on that. But I need to rewatch that film before I can ultimately agree with him. So
you're fine. You're gonna rewatch it.
Give me a second. I'll get to it this calendar year. I promise.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Anyway, I like this more than Zodiac. When you talk about Girl in the Dragon Tattoo and 7, that's where it's like these are all pretty much dead even for me. If I
sure,
all 5 out of 5 pretty much on like a Letterboxd ranking. So it's tough. Because I would like to put it above Zodiac, but there are definitely some movies that cause me a little pause when doing that. So I think the highest I'm like willing to scroll up here is probably, we'll call it, man, I do really want to put it above Zodiac. Fuck it, why not? It's 37. I'll put it, actually 36. I'll put it right above Terminator. And right above Terminator, below the Batman.
Okay.
T2.
Yeah. T2, sorry. Yeah. I don't know. That just feels right to me. I want to put this high. I think it deserves maybe a boost from at least one of us, because it might not be the most rewatchable film, but it is still a damn good film, regardless of how, interesting or creative it is compared to some of Fincher's other stuff, 7, and we already talked about all that, but this is just an incredible movie through and through. Definitely
I think replay value and I forgot what you just said. Oh, you basically said like it doesn't, regardless if it's replay value. It's not so much as that for me. It's the overall, like, it is genuinely forgettable.
I don't know. Is it though?
It really is. None of you thought about like this movie. Like I said, you're not gonna watch.
It wasn't our
forget
first.
about it.
Yeah, it wasn't our first Fincher to like draw back to,
You're
right?
gonna
Yeah,
absolutely
we had to go
forget
through
about it.
deep in the Fincher catalog, right? To Tyler's point, I haven't seen
Yeah.
this film. It's been a while. I would confidently say this is the first time I've watched this film post-COVID. I would confidently say that.
Sure.
Well, I still think it's great.
Just waiting like 5 years. We're like,
I
you know what movie I
agree.
watch all the time? Gone Girl.
Yeah. That's how it
I
goes.
also think it's great.
Yeah. Either way, though, our average rating here is going to be a 63.5, meaning we'll put it right below Nope and above Civil War at 64, which is, I think, a pretty solid spot
Yeah.
overall. I wish it was a tad bit higher, but again, the entropy list doing its thing and kind of giving us the best in between, where I think most people can agree that's a pretty good spot. All right. Well, with that being said, that's the rest of our review segment here for this episode. Do we
Woo!
have our review picked out for next episode? Let me check the schedule.
it Blake's birthday
it's
pick?
it's Blake's birthday pick. Blake, do you want to introduce what we're watching next week?
Yeah, I think I've landed on Pitch Black,
Let's
which
go.
is a 2000
do
film. Vin Diesel.
Rona Mitra.
In the Chronicles of Riddick universe. Chronicles of Riddick universe, yeah. And I believe this is the first film of that universe. I don't know if it's the first in chronological.
Yeah.
Or is it?
I don't know
it
if
is-
Riddick came before it.
I believe Pitch Black actually became before this.
It was number one.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
okay.
This came out in 2000.
Yeah. And then there's the Chronicles of Riddick, which is what, maybe 06, 07?
Yeah, 05,
And then there's
06.
Riddick,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is fucking horrible. from like 2015.
04.
04.
Okay.
04.
Wait, no. Chronicles is 04.
Yeah.
Chronicles is 04, yeah.
Riddick
Pitch
is
Black.
like
Which one?
2015.
What year is Riddick? 13, 14?
It was post Fast and Furious. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that movie's bad.
Someone looks it up. Pitch Black, if you're curious, is currently streaming on Peacock until the end of January.
I thought it was going to be
For
Tubi
the
for
rest of-
sure.
the
I
rest
thought
of the
for
month.
sure this was a Tubi.
It's probably moving to Tubi after it gets off Peacock.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
watch it,
Peacock is
Wouldn't doubt
yeah.
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 2000 film, Vin Diesel, Cole Hauser, Keith David,
Let's do it.
Rhoda Mitchell. Yeah, it's a fun
Rhoda
one
Mitchell,
if you
not
haven't
Rhoda
seen it
Mitra.
before. Say it again, Nathaniel.
I said a different actress's name. I thought it was Rona
Oh,
Mitra.
gotcha. Yeah, no, definitely in for a treat if you haven't seen it. I'm kind of doubling down on the Preacher feature that Nathaniel used, Nathaniel's theme that he picked for his birthday pick in December. So I said, hey, fuck it, we'll run with it. So we're both doing 2000s
Hell
Preacher
yeah.
feature. So yeah, you're in for a treat if you haven't seen it. It's cool. One I grew up with, seen it countless times. Haven't seen it in a while though. So it'll be interesting to see how I feel about it. I haven't seen this thing in. It's been a minute. I'd probably say 7-8 years.
He's probably.
I'm probably within 4 or 5.
Yeah, I definitely watched it
Oh, really?
when Waz moved
Yeah.
in. Like it was COVID
Okay.
era. So
Yeah. This was one of those like habitual TNT
Oh, for sure.
movies.
yeah.
Like, yeah, from like 2003 to 2015. Like if you had TNT,
Or
you've seen
TBS.
this before. PBS, yeah, for sure.
The best.
Absolutely.
FX. It was definitely an FX
For sure.
movie
Sci-fi.
for a while. Yeah.
Anything. This thing's been on cable
Yeah, it's been syndicated.
100,000 times. Yeah.
For sure. Also, Riddick came out in 2013.
2013.
Damn.
Yeah.
Even that's old at this
Never.
point.
Did any of you guys see that? Nathaniel?
I've seen them all.
I figured Ty has. Yeah, I've seen them all. Guilty pleasure.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you
third
just
one,
have to-
Nathaniel, you're
you
not.
have
you're
to.
not missing anything.
That third one was like it was Resident Evil level, and I was just like, nah, fam.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But like not the first 3 Resident Evils. Like we're talking like 6th Resident Evil level. You know, it's
when
like,
they were on to like
Love
Resident Evil, you know, extinction. There was
Resurrection.
yeah, it was always something that ends in shin.
Yes.
yeah, good stuff. Now, Adam, I assume this will be a first one for you, though, right? Got to be.
No, I've watched them all.
No shot.
His first movie was Pitch Black.
Yeah, yeah. Out the womb,
it
was pitch black in the in the hospital. You know,
I'd be surprised if Papa
No pun
Schwartz has
intended.
seen this.
I would have to
expect
ask.
him to.
I can't assume anything on that front.
I
But,
would
you know,
not
this
expect him to. Anyone under the age of 40 in 2000 didn't see this movie. Anyone over the age of 40, I should say.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah,
no, this
that's what we've
will
got.
be a first. This will be a first watch for me. I'm
It'll
excited to
be
check
a
it out.
funny one. A little less
Love
serious
it.
of a tone.
Cool.
Do we have any reviews?
For
Or are we
Yeah, we
jumping
haven't checked
into-
what we've been
5-star
watching?
reviews.
Oh, 5-star
Yeah.
reviews. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Haven't thought about that.
It's been a long time since we've.
Nathaniel's like,
done that.
I don't even know how to get into that thing anymore.
What's our podcast? I'll tell you what I've been watching though.
For it.
Yeah, we can do a quick round of that.
Did I tell the group that I saw the TV Glow?
Ooh,
You're
I
not.
saw that though.
No.
I did watch that in October. So what are your
I
what are
heard
your
that's
thoughts?
good.
Enjoyed it. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Look at this. We do have a new review, a 5-star review from BRB's biggest fan, December 29th, 2024. So new from Golden Baby. Immediately felt like I was part of the Back Row crew. As a fellow film lover, I absolutely love the way this podcast is set up. I continuously find myself talking aloud as I banter and or argue with the boys in my car. Keep going, gang. I admire how consistent y'all are. 10 out of 10 recommend. FYI, I've developed a drinking game if anyone wants to play. Drink
Oh,
every
no.
time Adam uses a nickname for someone. Drink every time Tyler says, for sure. Drink every time Blake's mic breaks or he says, that's funny. Drink every time Nathaniel references a book.
We fucking hammered.
Dude, are you doing this drinking game while driving, bro? This is not safe.
Yeah, Golden
For
Baby, we're
sure,
concerned
dude.
for you.
Yeah. Please reach out, dude. Like,
That's funny.
All right, so we got what was it? That's pretty good. Thank you, Golden Baby. It's definitely
That
our
is
best
pretty
review
good.
we've had in a while.
Definitely. Thank you.
Anytime Adam uses a nickname for someone, so I guess that would be like if you called me Nizza or Ty like Trabajo or something like that as well.
well, I
too.
think that's is that referencing just
Also-
the names I give in the beginning?
Yeah, also
Is
the
that
names
all?
we give at the
Okay.
beginning.
Yeah, I would say any
So
nickname.
you're starting off hot right at the start of the episode. That is a
And
good
then-
way. That is a good drinking game when you just get 3 right off the rip.
And then
You're
if Tyler's
cooked by the time you get to me.
if Tyler ever drops a for sure,
For sure.
for sure, dude. Anytime Blake's mic breaks, yeah. So like already at the start of the episode, again, you're hammered.
Yeah, it's chugging away.
Or he says,
You're
"That's
hammered
funny."
8 minutes into this episode.
Or anytime I reference a book.
Which has been
That's funny
happening
as hell.
more recently.
It's true actually. What was it? Waz was talking to one of his friends the other day on Xbox Live, I was gonna say, but it's definitely just online. Like Xbox Live
That
is
was very
so
that was
old.
very boomer of you.
Yeah. But he was just like, yeah, my roommate's a hipster now. He just reads and gets angry about things. It's like, I guess that's what it takes.
A quick round of what we're watching. We're running a little long.
Yeah,
on
sorry.
time.
I
We
saw.
can fit in since we didn't
I
get
watched.
last week.
I saw the TV Glow. That was really good. That was a couple weeks
Right.
ago. Really enjoyed that. And then there was something else I had on here as well too. Give me 2 ticks. Some Kind of Heaven is a documentary. It's on Hulu or no Tubi. It's on Tubi. It's this guy Lance Oppenheim. He's like 26 kind of thing, but he somehow got into the largest retirement home in Florida. Largest retirement community in Florida. 130,000 retired people, and it's basically Disneyland. Like all of the stuff is on site. There's golf courses, there's doctors, there's places where you can go and eat and shop and that kind of thing. But like they just live in this bubble. And they have like no idea what's going on outside of it. The documentary focuses on like 3 people, one of which is a lady that's been widowed, and she's kind of just like trying to find her way in the community there. Another couple is married, but the gentleman has basically decided at like age 80 that he's going to try every drug on the planet and is just like slowly going insane. Like his mind's shot, but like his wife is just trying to like stay in there with him. And then the last dude is this guy that doesn't live on in the actual community, but is trying to get in. So he just lives in his van and like goes to the like pools and tries to like woo like really rich women to like convince them to let him live there as well too. It's a crazy movie. It's really interesting, very American, I feel like, but also very interesting and kind of like the movie is shot as a documentary, but it's edited like a movie, so that the people that are in it almost become more characters than they are real people, which I think is a very interesting kind of artifice to play with, particularly in documentaries, as well as this one that's set in this world that like it's like a bubble within a bubble. Like they are very much trying to like push themselves away from the rest of the world's problems, but by doing so they're creating their own within this community as well too. And he's kind of there to document this, but also like because of the way that he's edited it, you can, if you're a seasoned film watcher, you can be like, well, they probably said that and then got this shot later and put them together to make something else and say something kind of different kind of thing. So, yeah, I think that was well
surely no filmmaker would be doing something so
crazy,
unethical,
right? Especially not a documentary filmmaker.
No, absolutely not. Those are full of the truth.
So, yeah, I think for like guys like particularly Adam, who I think you've had this kind of schooling on this, I think it would be a really interesting documentary for you to watch and kind of like
what's it called again?
Some Kind of Heaven. Yeah, Some Kind of Heaven. It's on Tubi.
What's it streaming on? Tubi. Of course it is.
It's on the Tubi. He's got a second one that's on
Tubi.
Hulu/FX called Sperm World, which is the like
Okay.
it's the like, so to have an in vitro fertilization from actual sperm donor is super expensive. It's like 20 grand. So he's found this like black market, the secondary market of people on Facebook who will just go and like say like, yep, you can have my DNA and you can get pregnant from it, and like we'll just meet up at a Taco Bell bathroom and I'll give you the sample kind of thing, and like is following those people around of like, yeah, we can't afford to do the real doctor stuff and our insurance won't pay for it, so we've got to go this other way, which again is very American as well too. Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested in what this guy's doing. I want to watch his other documentaries as well too. Some Kind of Heaven I think is worth it, worth giving a watch, but not top tier, I would say overall.
All right.
That being
Anything else?
said, I finished the second season of Hannibal,
Okay.
the NBC show. It's really great.
You can say
Okay.
it's okay. You watched it with the lady.
I did, yeah. We watched it together. One of her favorite
Nice.
shows. So going through that, it's a great TV show. I feel like Blake's probably seen it, but like I feel like both of you guys would like it as well too.
Noted.
I don't think I've seen that one.
No, I think you would definitely enjoy it.
Okay.
It's got the right kind of like tone for like horror and like investigative, and plus like Mads Mikkelsen just plays a great psychopath.
I
Where it
do
be
like
on?
Mads.
Say again.
What's it on?
Oh, it's we've been watching it on DVD.
Oh shit!
on
The
a
way the way
Dude,
the good
I'm-
Lord intended.
I'm telling you, on a 32-inch, it actually looks great. Like on a 32-inch from like 2010, where like it's topping out at 720p, but like it doesn't
Hey,
matter.
hey, man.
Like
That's all we've got in the bunker. All right, get used to it.
it's looking great.
Ty, please tell me you got something bigger at that cabin of yours. If not, I can bring my
No,
TV.
that's
Just
about
send me
right.
the
To be
address.
honest with you.
No, it's not 32. I think it's like a 50 max.
Oh no, that gets the job done.
Absolutely.
And plus, you really only go in there to watch movies at night.
Hannibal is streaming on AMC Plus, Pluto, and Prime Video.
Yeah, nobody has those. No, great.
Blake, Ty, you guys watch anything?
Really, the only thing that's kind of standing out in my mind is we got together last Saturday and watched the animated version of Ghost in a Shell.
It's true.
Ooh,
Okay.
So yeah. So Adam, I never actually got your thoughts on that. What'd you think about it?
It was good. It was really interesting. I'm interested to see what the live action version / adaptation kind of looks like. Because that's a very out there kind of anime, and adapting something like that to live action seems like quite the challenge.
Not as much as you'd think.
No,
Like, yeah, I feel like that was my main takeaway from the live action version is like, oh, damn, like, okay, yeah, they kind of
they
nailed
just kind
that.
of do the thing.
Yeah, like
Oh.
to be honest with you.
Oh, all right, good to know. But no, I definitely want to check out the live action version now. And maybe look up a little bit more of like what I maybe missed from the animated version. But no, I liked it. I definitely thought it was good. I understand kind of the interest behind that movie, and quick runtime, and it was on Tubi, so gotta love that part of it too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the live action's only an hour and 45. Like Nathaniel said, I think they did a really good job. Some of those like key scenes, they really nail in the live action.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but like the one with like the buildings and the plane, the silhouette of the plane flying over.
Yeah.
That's like an iconic shot from that movie. And they did that in this. And so yeah, overall I actually really like the live action. It's kind of one of those just, movies that I thoroughly enjoy in the background, and so not bad. But other than that, it's really just been Marvel Rivals for me. And yeah, that's about it. So I've been watching a lot of Tim. He's been streaming like fucking nonstop. It has been absolutely great because I could watch Tim nonstop. And then I get to come home and play Marvel Rivals right before, Leah gets home for a couple of hours. And so I get my gaming fix, and I've got Gundy addicted to it. Shout out Gundy. And then I'm slowly trying to get Adam addicted to it. I believe it's on right now. And
What?
and
I'm just
and
trying to
yeah.
get to level 10. I'm just shooting
So
bots.
yeah, I'm excited. It's fun to play. Ranked is a good time, and then obviously having people that I haven't really gamed with either at all or in a long time. Then it's
Yeah, I mean, it's
been
been a
dope,
minute
though.
since like we gamed together like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah,
since like
I-
OG
what was it?
Warzone days,
yeah,
probably last game that we ended up playing together.
yeah. When did we like first like get down? Was that Black Ops 4?
BO4. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because you were saying how good you were, and then I was talking my shit, rightfully so.
Yeah.
And yeah, then we were just ran pubs together.
Yeah, we both game.
We both gamers.
So
this game's
Blake,
fun,
what
though.
do you? Yeah, I haven't really been watching anything else other than that though. Blake, what about you?
Not much TV show wise. I did get to an Eli Roth modern classic, as some would say, is Thanksgiving.
I watched that.
Okay, I did get to that, and no, it's cool. I don't mind it. I think I can get behind it. That can be one of my holiday horror joints, right? For lack of a better term. We'll see how that one ages over time. So I watched that. I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago. Finally, just kind of get behind it and see what Eli Roth was doing these days. And I think that's the last film he's given us.
I think so.
And the first one he gave us.
No, he did Borderlands.
Oh, no. Don't.
Oh, Jesus.
Once I started thinking. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Nonetheless, so that's what I did get to. For listeners, the reason why everyone's kind of looking at each other like that on Discord is because he unfortunately made the movie at the bottom of our entry list, which
it is the
I'll
worst
never watch
movie
it
we've
again,
seen.
and it's the worst movie
by
I've
far.
probably ever
It
seen.
is
By far.
bad.
It's
by
horrible.
far.
It's offensive.
Outside of
The
that,
game
just
is
been
not,
watching-
though.
Yeah, which is crazy. One of the better modern games, AAA games for sure.
Yeah.
Outside of that, though, just gearing up, watching a lot of football here lately. Rather it's college football, NFL football. So yeah, we'll see what's kind of going on there this weekend. And yeah, that's all I got, Adam.
Main thing for me is Squid Game season 2.
Ooh.
Has anyone else got
Leah
that?
and I did watch
I have
that
caught a
as
few
well.
episodes of that. Pardon me, I should add that.
Which I finished it and I really enjoyed it. I thought it's not going to live up to the first season, and I knew that going in. But I still thought it was a good time, and it did enough new things and kind of made you I don't know, it just introduced enough new concepts, kind of and interesting things to think about to make it kind of different enough from the first season, where I was like, all right, that was kind of more worth a second season than I thought it was going to be, because it seemed like, based on the ending of the first season, that it was kind of just like he had concept for the one season, and they're just going to pay him too much to not do a second. But
the gentleman that first gets him into the game, that's also in Train to Busan, is he in this in the second season?
yes, he is.
All right. That might get me interested. I like that guy.
Yeah, he's got some good
Key role.
key role for sure.
We've all seen Train to Busan, right?
I've not.
I for sure have.
Blake,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like you have, yeah.
For sure, I've seen
even my dad likes that movie.
It's really
I'm sure
good. It's
I'm
real
sure it's
good.
did.
one of the better zombie
Yeah.
adaptations we got here.
Might need to throw that one
outside of
on when 28 years later comes out.
I was gonna say, outside of the 28 series, which they do have 28 years coming out, I think that actually comes out this year now. if I'm
Yeah, it
not
does.
mistaken.
Yeah. That trailer looks awesome. If you haven't
I
seen
haven't
it.
watched it. I've been trying to stay away
Dude,
from that.
that like as
I've
far
heard nothing but good things.
so like as far as trailers goes, where they like reveal stuff and that kind of thing, like it doesn't really do a lot of that, and it's very much
Okay.
more like an artistic like trailer, because they have like a poem going on in the background that's
Sure,
like tied
yeah.
into it as well too. Man, it's a good
Mhm.
trailer. Like it's chef's kiss.
Yeah, I'm sold to watch that one.
I love zombie stuff, dude.
Train to Busan's so good. It's got our boy from Squid Game, as well as my number one guy from Eternals.
Yeah.
Dude that just punches
Yeah,
people.
yeah, I know you're
He's
talking
the
about.
best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll have to check that out. But no, I like Squid Game season 2. I watched the first episode of Shogun. And
Oh.
that's kind of gonna be my next show. that I
Cosmo
transition
Jarvis.
to.
Where's his ship?
I don't understand, but
He's
can't
well,
wait to.
Cosmo Jarvis is the name of the main character, or that's his actor's name, I should say.
Got it.
And then every time he's there, he's like, "Where's my ship?"
John Blackthorne.
Yeah, I'm John Blackthorne.
Yeah,
Give me my
I'm
ship.
John Blackthorne. Yeah.
If you can find my crew and get back to me.
These savages.
In the Japans.
That is, yeah,
like
the
a-
Japans. Yeah.
Sounds like a side quest in a video game.
That is like the whole first episode. That is those same like 5 lines repeated over and over again. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish that out. And then once I'm done with that, I'm hearing incredible things about Severance. Has anyone watched Severance?
I've seen the first season.
Yeah, I'm hearing great things about season 2 here, so that's probably gonna be
First season, real good.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how all that pans out. Was that the last one? Are we good?
Think so, gang.
I believe
Yep.
so.
Cool. Let's get on out of here. Thank you all for listening. Of course, please help out the podcast by sharing it with a friend, a family member. If you don't got one of those, maybe you got a crazy wife that's out on the lam, or maybe you are out on the lam and you need something to listen to while you're out there. So go ahead and put on the podcast and spread the word. While you're doing that, you can follow us on Twitter, Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, and our YouTube is just Back Row Banter. Please go subscribe to us there, even if it's not your primary place of listening. We did not mention earlier when we read out the 5-star review, but if you
Sorry, sad trombone by accident. Sorry, do you need a rim shot? There we go. That's a joke.
Thanks. If you leave a 5-star review, you will get it read out on the podcast, as long as it doesn't contain anything like that will get
No,
trouble for.
if you're golden baby, we'll read it out for you.
Yeah, the whole thing. And thank you, Golden Baby, by the way, for your review. And please don't drink and drive.
Don't play the back row drinking game and drive. At
Yeah,
the very
exactly.
least.
Well, no, I mean, I'll blanket that statement. Don't drink and drive. Period.
Yeah, I'm
not
sorry,
just the back row. Not just the back row drinking.
Don't drink and drive. Especially don't play the back row drinking game and drive.
Right. Not a good look for us if you get pulled over or anything and we're playing in the background. That's
Unless
not.
you're practicing and you're just using like water or like soda. Or
Yeah,
something,
if you're
then, drink all you want.
If you're online and you're playing.
For a second, I thought you were like practicing drinking and driving, and I was like, "That's not."
If you're on the simulator and you got a six pack of tall boys,
right?
Oh my god.
We do not condone drinking and driving.
Yeah, we
thank you.
really don't.
We
This is
we
an entertainment
really don't.
podcast.
Yeah, and that's not drinking and driving is not entertaining.
Call an Uber,
Anyway,
folks. It's fucking easy. Like, let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Cost less too.
Anyway, let's get on out of here. We'll go to Nathaniel Gingrich. Where can the people find you at? man?
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd and Blue Sky nowadays. Over on
Ayo.
Nathaniel G at Blue Sky. Follow my Instagram. I've been posting more stuff on there. I've been trying to, at least. I got 2 more waiting in the wings as well too. So I gotta
Oh yeah.
throw those books up on the old Instagram as well too.
How did you
Roll
like
'em
Dune?
up.
I hated Dune. Didn't read it. But that's another book reference for you drinkers out there. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah. Blake, where can they find you, Ben?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder, be on there, 11 things, rating them out of 5 stars. Instagram, Mr. Water Coolers, PSN, Xbox, Mr. Water Coolers. Adam?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Aish24, on Letterboxd at Aish. My Blue Sky is also just Aish. I forgot what comes after. It's like Blue Sky Social and something like that.
Are
but
you
can find me there, too.
AYYSH?
AYYSH. Yeah, that's me. Who we got? Ty? Did Ty go?
Yep. Instagram, Letterboxd, and X, all Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES. And yeah, that's gonna be it for us. We appreciate you stopping by. Thanks, Golden Baby, again for the review. We definitely appreciate it. And anybody else who wants to leave one in the future, we would greatly appreciate it as well. And we'll catch you on the next one. We'll BRB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Is it pronounced Rosamund Pike or Rosamund? Do
I think it's
need to pronounce
Rosamund.
the A? Rosamund?
That's how I always said it.
Yeah.